Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Good evening, Star Trek Fleet Command fans, or good morning. I don't know when you're watching this. In fact, if you're probably overseas by the time this comes out and you're in Europe, it's probably good morning. So, guten Morgen, wie geht's? For all of you in Germany, or wherever else you speak German. Austria? Probably not Belarus. I don't know. I don't remember my geometry classes, and I'm American. You know, we don't have the greatest education system, but we're number one. Wait, it's not geometry. Geology. That's the class. My bad, y'all. That was stupid. Made myself sound like an idiot. But today we're going to have a discussion with the janitors to hopefully get some answers to some of the questions that you've been asking a lot of recently. For those who are unfamiliar with this format, over the past month or so, and every month we do a dev Q&A, but over the past month, I've been gathering questions, really trying to pay attention to what y'all complain about the most. And I do this on Facebook through the 3 Facebook groups I know of that exist, my own Facebook page, the Facebook messages, Discord messages, the almost 200 Discord groups I'm in. And I do try to at least lurk in most of them every month, as well as Reddit. Can't forget about you crazy Redditors, because y'all are legitimately crazy. But we try to take some of those most pressing issues and see if we can get answers out of the dev team. Or in this case, because who gets access to the dev team? The janitors. They might make all the messes, but they also clean them up. And that's called job security. So we're going to talk to them today, or at least we already talked to them, and you're going to hear the answers. Number 1 is ship sourcing. Ships like the Vidar, Discovery, etc. Will Cosmic Cleanup add more? And I asked the new away team store. Now, I got a mixture of answers from a couple different janitors in this case, but talk to the big janitor, the big mighty macho janitor. He's got lots of his hands are rough and coarse from working hard every day on a keyboard for you. And the answer to the question was not in the immediate future. However, they're currently discussing adding more options, including ships, to both. So that is good. That's actually a pretty good answer. Now, the only issue with that answer is not in the immediate future. So you're probably not going to see anything added before 2022. That said, the release of the away team store, for those who remember it, is giving people a way to source ships now, which all you got to do is, there's 2 ways to get to it. Easy way, hit your claims chest, scroll over at the bottom to away teams, and then you go right there. You've got your store, and you see we got faction ships in. Now, this is a level 39 account, so obviously you won't see as much as I do. And then you got to have the rep and the level base to see some of the ships. But let's say you wanted to get Enterprise, you can now use away teams to help farm and source for those blueprints. So, you know, it is another way, and since they just added that, they're probably not going to add anything soon, which is why I said the 2022 comment. But at the same time, it is good that that is currently being considered. Next up was officer sourcing, and honestly, these are some of the biggest questions I get asked every day. But not in the immediate future was the answer for the first one. This question was still a huge issue in the game. Many players won't level up their officers who aren't ready. When's an overhaul to the actual officer sourcing issue coming? Because, you know, you can't even get the shards you need if you wanted to. And they said that's a work in progress, no timeline yet, but it's being worked on. And this one I'm less confident in. I'm more confident in the ship sourcing one because, hey, they just did an update to it and they're obviously working on it. It feels like the officer situation is only getting worse. So while I do believe they're working on it, are they working for our good or for evil? Evil. I lean towards evil. But that's the nature of these questions. Sometimes we don't get the answer we want, but it is the truth, and we have to take it as it goes. Number 3 was ship skin sourcing. And I get asked about this one a lot. What I asked was, will there be a consistent set of skins like the Vidar, Enterprise, Franken A, and getting those sourced? Because right now they're not. Even the Vidar, which is listed in the question, is not even in the event store. You've only got the ship itself, not the skin. And while I love the TOS skins, and I would like better sourcing for them, they don't have as much in-game impact as, say, the Vidar skin does. And with there not being a Vidar A, at least yet, you know, it's very, very important to get that. Just like the Stella skin is so useful for the Stella. Having that red thing fly around with the pull in the front actually matters. And hopefully that is something they look into. Their answer was, same answer as the officer above. Yikes. Being worked on, but we don't have a date we can share yet. So once again, I feel like this is a 2022 thing. Now, you will notice in the theme of this, please don't get depressed by some of these answers. In the theme that we're going through, you're going to actually see that we are kind of looking forward, and there's a consistency here to some of these non-answers. So maybe if you read between the lines, you can see something. Open your third eye. It's right there. My hat covers mine because you would probably freak out if you saw it. Number 4, missions being level locked. Understandable that there are a special set for 42 plus, but why lock most of the Arc 5 missions behind a pretty ridiculous 32 level plus wall? Why are they designing them so high? And the answer was, if the Arc missions had a way to match the level of the hostiles to the players' levels, then that would be the best solution for us. However, given that right now we have to lock the level of the hostiles in the missions, we are trying to have a good mix for content for both newer player and higher level players. It means that in some arcs there are missions for level 20 or lower, while in others we focus on higher level like 35 plus. We try to have a good balance between all levels. I don't feel like they have a really good balance. I feel like a good balance is every month everybody gets something, and I understand where they're coming from here, because I see it from the standpoint as a player. The hardest boss or the hardest ship to destroy in this past mission set for Arc 5 was a 750,000 ship. I could have destroyed that in the mid 20s easily, maybe even the low 20s with a maxed out North Star and really good crew. Definitely the mid-20s, though, when I had a Vidar or even a Kumari, that would have been very easy to do. So, I see it from our angle as a player going, just come on, we want to be able to do this. And there are a lot of people who enjoy the missions. This mission's, the storyline was there. It was there. Number 5, the mycelium cap. What gives? Why is it still 18,000? To me, it seems like such an easy thing to just lift it up. There's no point in refining mycelium now. Nobody farms it, and maybe they're doing that intentionally because nobody wants another thing to farm every day. But it kind of stinks to have an 18K limit. The answer was, we will look into this and see if it can be raised in the future. And the question is, for me, not if it can be raised. It obviously can be raised. I mean, it's a click of a button. I mean, you change 18, add a 0 at the end, 180, boom, 180,000 we can store. The question is, why do they have the cap, and why are they hesitant to raise it? Now, obviously, they didn't tell us that in the answer. They just gave us one sentence answer. But, it's a why are they not wanting to raise it? And I guess that's, hopefully something we can dive into deeper at a later date. Number 6, sorted by trait in away missions. Can this be added? Also, preset crews that were in development 2 years ago, what's the update on that? Now, this is finally an answer that y'all are really going to like. So I've gotten to have a few conversations with them about the new away teams traits system, which is brand new. It's in its infancy almost, and it's been almost nothing but positive reviews from me. I love it. The only tricky part is getting everybody to see the value in there because, well, it's a grind. And even DJ was talking to the devs about this as well. And not to give away everything DJ said, because DJ has a show and you should check out DJ's content as well. But simply put, there's a lot of ways this could be better, because there's a lot of players who are simply looking past the away teams and the away traits because they feel like it's too much of a grind. When the truth is, this is one of the best paying out grinds in the game, secretly. So their answer, long-winded way to get to this, is preset crews are still planned. We will share more news on our next roadmap update. And this is a huge thing, y'all. Why is it big? Remember, they've been releasing a roadmap update about every 6 to 8 months. And every time they've done it, it's after they finished the previous roadmap. They finished the first roadmap and a new one came out. And they've basically finished the second one and a new one's due to come out. So it's very possible we can see this be something that happens within the next 6 to 8 months, because that's about how long the roadmaps that we get given last. So it is very, very realistic to see that some of these things we're talking about come very soon. Not soon, but very soon. Trademark pending. The second part of that was sort by traits is a good idea, and they would add it to their list of things to work on. So that is feedback that we got from y'all that you would like to see that the officer tool already does. Check out the video from yesterday. Next up is number 7. Away team refresh tokens added to the 7 and 30-day chest and photon tokens. Expect more news on photon tokens soon. I've been telling y'all, very soon. Very soon. And AT refresh tokens, we will look into it, but no promises. Now, the idea is that they're going to overhaul 7 and 30, at least we hope so, the 7 and 30-day chest when photon tokens come out, which, as many of you who follow me on Twitch would know, you got to follow the Twitch channel or be in the captain's quarters in my Discord. But either way, But anyway, anything that can improve the actual output of like dailies and the 730-day chest would definitely be well received by most of the game. I mean, many of you would not complain. Who would complain about that? Like, they're giving us more stuff. Stop it. I feel like that's what Scopely thinks we do. Like, that's why they withhold so much. But anyway, Stay tuned. Number 8, with so many new things getting added to the game, is there any thought of creating a quick in-game tutorial, sort of like a small help button you could click, like say in the away missions area, that explains some basics? And this is actually part of a broader conversation I've been having with them, where even though technically this makes y'all have less of a need for me, it is important for the average game player, because I understand that, you know, not all of the game comes to me. It's sad, I know. I think last month I had like 70,000 unique viewers, but that's not the entire game. It's like not even half the game. So for the average player, it'd be good if there was a good, an effective, I think, stop using the word good, an efficient and effective help system in the game that could actually help people get the snippets of what they needed, but if they needed greater detail, then they come to Rev Deuce. So hopefully that's what happens. Their response was, that is a great idea. Hopefully great ideas turn into great product. Number 9, wait, did I skip one? No, I didn't. With TNG having so many, in my opinion, too many epic and rare officers, will the T be returning to the traditional uncommon, rare, and epic format in upcoming arcs? Now, their response is a little bit more in depth, and I want to actually open up on this a little bit. But they said there are a lot of elements that go into this. The officer IP, so like the actual quality of the character, officer abilities, etc. And they said that we will definitely keep releasing uncommon officers with rares and epics, but there will also be more rares, epics, given the mix of officers we currently have in the game. So the first part of that is important in that I think one thing that we tend to lose, and I've gotten more side of this as I've started to kind of reach out to people who play like Star Trek Online, Marvel Strike Force, and even I've reached out to people who work in the industry, the gaming industry, even writers in Hollywood, to get an idea of how IPs work, IP being intellectual property. And what it comes down to is, at the end of the day, even though the game wants to give you Worf, maybe CBS itself says, look, you can't make our character that we love so much be a common in your game. They have to be good. They've got to be quality-wise better than something else. Now, there's also that side of the argument that is, oh, well, they're just making rares and epics to make money. And I'm not going to lie. I think that definitely plays a part in it. I mean, the fact that they sell rares for 50 and epics for 100 per pack, I'm sure definitely plays into the thought process. But then there's also things that are outside their control where maybe CBS themselves are like, yo, you've got to do this. And for those who are going to comment that CBS wouldn't care, trust me, they do, because I've seen them do it to other games, and I've seen them do it to other Star Trek games. So there's definitely somebody that represents the greater company, even more. How do we politely mention Viacom CBS? More established, who can come in and say, hey, you got to do it this way. So something to keep in mind while we're griping at Scopely, because at the end of the day, we're the players and we get what we want. At least we should. Whew. It's a good answer. Just, it's a thought-provoking answer. It gives you more like that insight into how the game itself is working and being developed. Number 10, many players feel the TNG Arc, especially at the end, doesn't feel very TNG at all, as in the next generation, Star Trek. Will there be a focus on themes being more of a central component in the future? They said that TNG is the favorite Star Trek series for many of us, and we put a lot of work into the missions, officers, events, and other content in this arc to match the series and pay homage to it. Going forward, we are planning some exciting new arcs for both this year and next that we believe all Star Trek Fleet Command commanders will enjoy what we have planned. So it's an essential non-answer while also answering it at the same time. It's that annoying thing that you got to really know some of these janitors to get an understanding of what they're getting at. Now, just to be very upfront with you and transparent, I've had this conversation and I have been rebutted by one of them before saying, no, we did a great job doing TNG. We thought we did fantastic. And I'm like, negative, huge miss. Now, the key is separating, because here's what they did. They said, well, we brought this mechanic in, this mechanic, and my argument is not the mechanics. Away Teams 2.0, really good. Away Teams 1.0, really good. Exocomps, but okay. Meridian, very good. All that coming in the TNG Arc was great for the game itself. But as far as the next generation, that was kind of more the complaint, that it didn't feel Star Trek enough, like there wasn't enough the next generation. And the fact that we ended on Tasha Yar, no offense to Denise Crosby, you're amazing, was very anticlimactic. It was a lackluster feeling to the end. At the same time, read kind of between what's happening here. TNG is the favorite Star Trek series for many of us, and we put a lot of work into the missions, officers, events, and other content. Now, they say other content in this arc to match the series, but what is the main thing that you've seen? Artwork? You've seen advertisements, however you say it in your country? that you've seen hints at in game that you have yet to see come forth. The Enterprise D. That's obviously coming, and I've told you for months it's a ship. So there's more TNG around the corner. Now, does that mean it's next month? No, but I would bet my bottom dollar it's way sooner than you think it is. It's not a year down the road where we'll revisit like we did Borg. I bet it's really close. Now, that being the case, that means there's more TNG coming that hopefully makes us feel better about TNG that's in the game. Because right now, I feel like most people are like, it's very like there's good. You know, Picard, Beverly is a great addition to Pike Moreau, Riker, Troy, good Armada officers. But as a whole, people are like, That said, I think there's more coming that might better round out what we have here. So that's what I saw. And then here, I tried to sneak in an 11th. I tried to sneak in an 11th question for you. And I said, Rare Armada sourcing. And I said, thank you. Thank you for taking the time. And I said, please tell us about Rare Armada sourcing. And their answer, I don't have an answer for that one. You only get 10 questions. Winky face. Once again, we must analyze the answer to find the details inside. I don't have an answer for that one because you only get 10 questions and then a winky face. That winky face makes me believe they're listening. I'm hoping. Hope on hope. Prayers on prayers. Please, for the love of Q, please give us Armada sourcing. They did hear my argument, and we talked about all the Armada events without proper Armada directive sourcing. The winky face makes me want to believe. Does it make you want to believe? If so, let me know in the comment section down below. If you appreciate these type of dev Q&As and if you learned something, do me a huge favor. Share them with your alliance. Share them with your server on Discord, on Facebook, on Reddit, so that more people can get this type of insight into the game and how it's developing. And of course, smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, live long and prosper. Deuces, that's me. Stay safe out there, Space Cowboys, and we'll catch you on the next video. Star Trek Fleet Command. An even better outro than the intro. Yeah!